in Ethiopia. Because historically, Ethiopia has been the US policeman on the beat in the Horn of Africa, which is a strategically critical area for the United States. And in November 4th in 2020, the TPLF launched a coup attempt to gain power in Ethiopia. And in the course of this coup, they tried to seize a military base, the largest military base in Ethiopia, which is in Tigray, their home province, and which is the major stockpile of weapons in Ethiopia. To understand how all this came to be and to the background of all this, and we need to go back to April of 2018. And at that time, the United States what do we call a national security establishment was in a kind of a period of chaos because they were going between the Secretary of State Rex Tillerson had been fired by Trump, and they'd been replaced by Mike Pompeo, who a congressman from Kansas, who had been head of the CIA. And so the CIA, the State Department was in kind of a period of chaos there. Now, Tillerson was an oil executive and Pompeo was a politician from Kansas, and neither of them knew anything about Africa. So in the meantime, they basically turned over control of what was going on in Africa to a long-time, very experienced diplomat named Donald Yamamoto, who had 30 years background, most of it as the US ambassador to Ethiopia. And Donald Yamamoto recognized the fact that in 2018, Ethiopia was about to implode and splinter into ethnic states due to the divide and conquer strategy that TPLF had been employing to try to stay in power. So Donald Yamamoto engineered a meeting with Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki, flew to Asmara in April of 2018 and finalized a deal where Ethiopia and Eritrea had come to peace. And this allowed Dr. Abiy Ahmed to come to power in Ethiopia. And part of the deal was that the TPLF would withdraw from Addis and go back to their home province of Tigray. So this deal was basically a regime change, a peaceful revolution, as I call it at the time. Today, you've got the TPLF launched a military offensive against the Ethiopian army, which has been struggling to rebuild itself. Now, the Eritreans pulled out of Tigray immediately after the capture of Mekelle and allowed the Ethiopian army to have to, rebuild itself from the ground up, which is what's been going on. And it's been difficult and it's been slow, but the Ethiopians have rallied and they've been now, in spite of all the propaganda on the Western media, and I advise people, don't believe anything you see or hear in the Western media. It's all lies. The Ethiopian military has got the Tigrayans, the TPLF on their back foot. Many of the places, the cities that the TPLF claimed they'd captured, which were never really captured, were contested. They have now been defeated at and driven from. And just the fact that they're being quiet about what's going on is pretty much an indication that they're on the back foot. So I'm expecting that maybe by the end of this year, the TPLF will be defeated.
Well, I don't know about you, Thomas, but I can quite clearly see the Western American footprint in these conflicts. If I'm right, what does the U.S. seek to gain from them?
Why is the U.S., the national security establishment in the United States supporting the TPLF? Because they have been. The CIA has been giving them satellite imagery, where to attack. They've been providing support to them directly, political support through their allies within the human rights movements I call the human rights mob at Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International, and the national security establishment plants that they have in the UN. They've been providing cover for the TPLF. Now, TPLF is supported by the US because Dr. Abiy has made it very clear that he is going to move Ethiopia in the same direction Eritrea is at. That he just won this massive electoral victory. 85% of the people voted for him. The Ethiopian people want Abiy to transform their country from the desperately poor, famine, and disease-ridden country it's been, war-torn country it's been, into a modern society. So Abiy Ahmed has pledged to make Ethiopia self-sufficient in food, self-sufficient in energy, and politically independent. And this is a threat not only to the United States, but to the EU. So, and one of the planks of Abiy Ahmed's electoral platform was he was going to nationalize all the land in Ethiopia. Now, this has been said to be done before in Ethiopia, but this is a threat to the investment particularly the European Union. You see, the EU is dependent upon sucking the blood of Africa to maintain the high standard of living of their people. They've been pretty much uh, they can't control, they can't exploit, super exploit Latin America and Asia like they used to. The only place they can really, literally loot and plunder is in Africa. For example, Anglo-American Gold has been running one of the biggest gold mines in Africa and Tanzania, and they only pay Tanzania a 4% royalty. Now, Eritrea gets a 40% royalty for their gold mines. Now, if Europe has to start paying a fair share of the exploitation they're doing in Africa, they're not going to be able to continue to maintain the high standard of living, the social security and the education and the medical care that they provide to their people. And they're already facing discontent in Europe. And if they can't continue to buy their people off, they're in serious problem. And if they lose control of Africa, it's going to provoke an enormous crisis in the EU, and their leaders know this. That's why they've been so ruthless in opposing Abiy Ahmed, because Abiy Ahmed has made it clear, whether we understand it or not, the national security establishments in the United States and the EU know that Abiy Ahmed is taking Ethiopia down the path that Eritrea has taken, to be an independent, sovereign nation, self-sufficient, to break the bonds of